God has woven music into the heart of every culture. Across the world, people are singing in all sorts of diverse and beautiful ways. Local song genres are deeply meaningful traditions that connect people to their roots and to each other. The recently developed Song Genre Survey is a tool that helps communities explore and reflect on their music and contributes to a growing dataset to uncover patterns and connections between local arts and language communities. Filling out the survey can be an enjoyable and eye-opening experience. Whether you're passionate about music, language, or missions, participating in this project is a way of celebrating all communities and the unique songs that God has given them. Want to learn more? Contact us at arts_dataset@sil.org to get involved today.
Mesa dua tilu ya.
Welcome back to Sparking Creativity, the EthnoArts podcast, where we hear stories from around the world about how communities are connecting with God, engaging with the Bible, and sharing the gospel in meaningful ways according to their culture. I'm your host, Justin, and we have a great story today. If you've listened to the past two episodes, you'll notice there's also been a theme of Bible translation, people working in that kind of area. And this episode is also about Bible translation. This was not intentional. We didn't plan for it this way. It just happened that we got these stories from these people at this particular time. So it's been nice to have this kind of a focus and theme. And I hope that you're able to pick up some of the principles at work in this kind of ministry and seeing how the arts can benefit. Today, we have a guest sharing about her experience from Indonesia, and she is interviewed by a special guest host and interviewee, Matt Menger from SIL Global, and he will introduce himself in just a bit. One thing I wanted to highlight, just to raise your awareness and help you to focus into the conversation about Bible translation and EthnoArts and how they work together. I love this story because it shows this integration of the two. Rather than separate areas of focus, separate ministry, they come together really beautifully to enhance the Bible translation work, enhance scripture engagement, and church life and spiritual growth of the community. Maybe we heard previously in the other episodes about translation work being done first and then EthnoArts coming later, or at least maybe there are some scripture available before it's being introduced. And here there was a different approach where they had EthnoArts workshops first, and how the benefit of this really connecting with the community's sense of identity, helping, I think she talks about engaging their hearts first, and then they were able to introduce Bible translation work. And I see that as really beautiful. There are different approaches and different ways of doing ministry and engaging communities. And starting with EthnoArts helps begin the conversation and lay a foundation of what they have already. What are the God-given resources that He's given them? These gifts to specifically connect with Him in worship, or to share Bible stories, share the message, evangelize, engage with Scripture, doing all kinds of different ministry. How has God uniquely created this particular language group to do that? And an EthnoArts workshop will explore that rather deeply and experiment with different communication forms, different art forms that exist that could be beneficial. There are so many benefits, there's so many applications to this kind of conversation, and I'm really excited that this was really helpful for the community to start here. Another thing to note is an EthnoArts workshop may invite certain kinds of people that may not be directly involved in Bible translation, different members of the communities with different experiences and different gifts. It helps to build relationship with the community and the church before translation efforts begin. I know that Bible translation work in many places, they are partnering with local churches to have ownership and sustainability, and to take it and use it as their own and as they see fit. And an EthnoArts workshop can also help build those strategic relationships. So there's a lot of great benefit, a lot of great things going on. I hope you enjoy the conversation today. And for now, we'll transition over to Matt's introduction, and he'll introduce you to our guests and the story. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, at EthnoArtsPod. Email us at ethnoartspod@gmail.com with your questions, with your comments. Please leave a review wherever you listen to podcasts to help other people to find about the show. And thank you for connecting with us. Remember to reach out, share your own stories. Let's share them. Let's promote what you are doing. So thank you so much. Enjoy today's episode.
Hi, everybody. It's Matt Menger here. I work with SIL Global as the International Ethnomusicology and Arts Coordinator, and Justin and I do a lot of work together, and we've known each other for years. So it's a lot of fun and a real joy and privilege to be able to do an interview for the podcast. Today, I had the chance to talk with Misriani Balle. She is an Indonesian Bible translator, and she has a huge passion for the arts. She works with an organization called Yayasan Sulu Insan Lestari, and she's living and working on the island of Sumba in Indonesia. She and I have collaborated on several workshops there and other activities for the past few years, and she's got a great story to share about how local arts have really played a pivotal role in getting Bible translation started there. So I had the opportunity to talk to her and ask her some questions, and we just had a chance to catch up and also just think together about what God is doing there and how that's come about, and I hope you enjoy. So, I'm Matt Menger, and I know you as Kak Miss, but who are you, actually?
I'm Misriani Balle. Yeah, everybody call me Kak Miss. And I live and work alongside the local church of Gereja Kristen Sumba. I'm helping with 3 written translation, 3 projects.
Okay, so 3 written translations, and it's with Gereja Kristen Sumba, which, how would we translate that? That's basically just the Christian Church of Sumba, right?
Yeah, the Christian Church of Sumba.
Okay, and so
They
Sumba.
never say that.
No, they always say it in Indonesian. Yeah, but so Sumba, like what is this place, Sumba? Tell me about Sumba.
Sumba is a beautiful island. It's twice the Bali Island, and the people are very conservative. How do you say that? They don't really like to mix with other people, but they are very respect the outsiders, especially the anthropologists and pelancong. How do you call that in English? People come when
Pelancong. I don't even know that one. That's a new one for me.
The Westerns who came for the Pasola traditional fighting horses, human fighting. It's
travelers.
Actually,
Yeah.
Actually, February and March is Pasola events, and I saw a lot of Westerners walking in front of the road because all the villas and hotels are full with them. They want to see the Pasola competition.
What is Pasola? What is Pasola? Yeah.
Pasola is like a fighting between human, plants, and horses. So they fight each other with a piece of log. And then whoever they believe that if more blood spreading during the pasola, then the harvest will be good.
Wow.
So it's traditional beliefs, I mean.
Yeah. So traditional beliefs mixed in with kind of like a game, I guess, or it's like a sporting event almost, right? Like who's the
Yeah,
last one to stay on their horse?
yeah. They say that it's mounted spear fighting competition.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
So
fascinating.
yeah, I've been to Sumba. Let's see, how many times have I come to visit you and work there? It's been 4
Three,
times?
4 times.
3 or 4
Two,
times.
two
Yeah.
in. I think 5 times, but the fifth I
Maybe
didn't
if
meet you. You come with Penny.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. So we haven't met every time I've been there, but I've been a few times. And
Yeah.
one time we did the two arts workshops, the EthnoArts workshops, but I'm getting ahead of myself if we talk about that. So, um,
Yeah.
well,
If you
maybe
have.
not, maybe not. But why don't could you tell us? So I know we started years ago talking with
Those and
Sulu about starting work on Sumba because the Christian church in Sumba was interested in working together. But could you talk a little about like how did that all get started? What do you remember of all of those first meetings?
I remember Sulu's first intention was to translate the Bible, but in
Mm-hmm.
order to translate the Bible, because GKS, Sumba Christian Church, asked
Mm-hmm.
for Bible translation.
Right.
And Sulu had this idea that we need to raise the awareness of not only the wording, but the cultures and the arts. And that's
Mm-hmm.
therefore we started with EthnoArts to see the strength, the vitality of their culture and language and how they react or relate
Mm-hmm.
or how they run the church almost. That's what we want to see. And then
Mm-hmm.
after a long discussion, many discussions, I remember, and because I was a new person in Zumba and I don't know which one is the right person to get involved in EthnoArts workshop. So then these people can be the igniters or something for the translation. And so
Right.
we started in 2019, July.
Right.
The
Mm-hmm.
La Boya, we have how many languages? We have 8, I think.
I
La
think it was
Boya,
8 languages. Yeah.
yeah, La Boya, Wanukaka.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do Anakalang. La Boya, Wanukaka, Pudi, Wewewa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
those are the
more.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the first one was 4, and then we
Right.
moved from La Boya to Laihao, which is in
And
the
then
La Boya was in the west, Laihao was in the
right.
east,
Yeah. Then
and
we
we
did the
went
second
there.
one. Yeah.
The
Mm-hmm.
second one was Hawu,
Mm.
Anakalang, Mamboro, and Canberra, which is
Right.
Pumalang.
I just remember it was a little bit of a busy week because we did 2 back-to-back workshops. We did one for a few days, and then we had, I think, Sunday off, and we traveled, and then we did another one, and it was
Yeah,
busy. Yeah,
it was beautiful. They still
it
wanted
was.
it though, but
Mm-hmm.
because they don't form a team.
Mm-hmm.
So, but from that time on, people started to think that Bible translation is not just about the Bible, it's about us. It's about our
Mm-hmm.
music, it's about our worship, it's about us. So they
Mm-hmm.
are becoming more excited and they said, we're gonna do the translation, we're gonna do the translation. And at that time I wasn't confident because I don't know the language, how they work and things like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But so ethno arts was a good foundation though. if I start a new project, I would like to start with that again.
Yeah.
But I need to like build a relationship with the locals and then form the right team, not outsiders form them, but they themselves form a team of EthnoArts. So then after we train them, they continue to do. Because at the moment, the La Boya team, they form a group and they keep creating new songs. So
Well, that's
thanks for
great.
coming and helping them. But
Yeah.
there is no, how do you call that? It's a WADA. There is no
No, group or
a
organization
group
or
or small organization.
society.
Yeah,
Hmm.
in a team to
Hmm.
compile those songs. Actually, they wanted me to um compile all of the songs. You remember Lawiti, the beautiful
Yeah.
sound of the songs? So I
Yeah.
am at the moment of compiling those. Hundreds. I have been compiling
Wow.
them. And then they also created, how do you call that? Songs that are more like pop, but it's
Hmm.
beautiful in the local language. And
Yeah.
I uh, I heard one of them singing it in Christmas, and it was just like so beautiful. It's so
Yeah.
beautiful. And so one guy said that I wanna start at ethno arts again. But
Yeah.
I want you to get involved in the group, even though you're busy with translation, because if we don't have this group, then our music's are scattered. Like many
Hmm.
people are creating songs now, and we post on Facebook and we share with each other and we edit it each other. But we need Sulu to
Hmm.
group us.
Yeah. I
So
remember the workshops were like a good, I think it seemed like people were really interested and lots of people are very creative and good songwriters, good musicians, but it was the workshops were almost like an excuse for everyone to get together and get a little organized and to start creating. It kind of just
yes,
sparked
yeah,
something good that was already there in the community. People were
yeah,
already ready to go. They just needed that catalyst of
yeah,
that spark to kind of get things started.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And they
Hmm.
actually not free people. They are teachers and
Hmm.
pastors and government people.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I'm excited about these classes, La Boya, because they form people, and then we plan to get together in June this year to compile all of the songs, because I said I have the wordings now, but I need the sounds. I need to record them so then we can pass
Right.
it down to the church and the generations. In
Hmm.
October, it was family months. They call it like all the service and the prayers and the sermons and the songs are in the local languages. And then
Wow.
they asked me to, they asked me and the team to create some, no, not create, but translated some hymns.
Okay.
We translated maybe 62 or 69 hymns. It was like,
Wow.
because the church was hunger, like they hungry
Hmm.
for worshiping in their language. And then they also
Right.
sing the Lawiti songs. And in Christmas,
Hmm.
they sing in La Boya and Wanukaka. It was beautiful. They had
Yeah.
competition, and I was a
Oh,
judge
fun.
for the
Yeah.
competition for
Hmm.
their local languages and music. The
Hmm.
limitation is the not enough instrument. Local instruments are um,
Yeah.
extinct, I think.
Yeah, I remember that was an issue. Like we had people at the first workshop or at Lai Hao, I think we had the musician Om Dotur was there and he
Mm.
had his traditional instrument. And there was the older man there as well who had I don't remember what he called it. Was it a kachapi? That's the Indonesian name, but there was a local Sumba name for it, but he was like the only one.
Younger.
Yeah, he
They
was the
call it
only
younger.
one, yeah, with that. Like no one else had those and was able to play them. So instruments are still an issue, but um, yeah,
Bapa Matahari got it. Like, you remember I told you.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he got all of the instruments, but we need to multiply them because the
Hmm.
players are still alive.
Yeah.
But the you know, like the ingredients of those
Hmm.
traditional instruments are almost gone. So they
Yeah.
have to have the right people to create them.
I thought that was an interesting thing from the workshops as well, was how we did the workshops, and that got people more interested in thinking about the instruments. Like, I think they were already
Mhm.
kind of going away, and many of them weren't used very much. But then doing the workshops, people realized that they needed to figure that out. Like, they don't want them to be gone. So there's
Mhm.
people like Pat Matahari, there's people like Om Dotur, there's other musicians who recognize the value of these instruments and want to keep them around. But I think
Mhm.
that when doing some ethno arts activities sort of brought that up for people. It reminded people,
Yeah,
oh, if we need to do something about this, because if we don't do anything, it'll just go away. So we need to make
yeah,
a decision. Do we care? And if we care, then we need to do something about it and do something to preserve the instruments. You know.
yeah. They did. They
Hmm.
they realized, and
Yeah.
yeah, like the La Boya team, they want to form one team because they want to preserve the traditional musics and arts. Um,
Yeah.
they're very strong in webbing and waving, but they are
Hmm.
not very strong in keeping their local instruments to be alive.
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm.
So let me shift us. Let's talk about Bible translation a little bit. So I remember, I'll go back to the first things I remember about it was Sulu approaching me, and then you and I talked, and we talked with others at Sulu because there was interest, like you mentioned, the Christian church in Sumba wanted to do Bible translation, but we decided to start with EthnoArts. Um, and I remember at the time, I really appreciate what you said earlier about wanting to, I would say, more holistic, like a more holistic way of starting. So instead of just doing
Mhm.
language, also thinking about the culture and the things that people do in their lives that are meaningful and the meaningful ways they communicate with each other. For me, I also felt like, as I talked with the leadership of Sulu, starting with EthnoArts was a chance to get to know the church a little bit better. So before
Mhm.
launching into a bunch of translation projects, by doing some music workshops, we got to meet them and Sulu got to meet them and
Mhm.
sort of get to know each other a little bit better. So
Mhm.
then we know better which languages are the right ones to start with for translation, and
Mhm.
how we want to do that, and how does the church structure work with the classis and all the different levels of church structure and how to work within them.
Mhm.
So it seemed like EthnoArts was a good way to start. So before
Indeed.
committing to a big thing like a translation project, doing some music workshops and some EthnoArts workshops allowed us to build a relationship and kind of get people excited a little bit. And then when we started, or when Sulu started, it was a more it was able to start better. I'm trying to think of how I want to say that, like a more informed decision or a better planning, I think.
Yeah, and it's like it's togetherness, like it's not like we're coming and invented a program, but
Mm,
oh, now we know Bible translation is not about the only the Bible, the words. It's about
hmm.
us. It's about how we like almost like scripture and culture goes together, not only the
Right.
scripture. It's
Hmm.
not a
Yeah.
separate piece. It goes together.
Yeah. Scripture and culture. I love how you said that. Like, scripture and culture are so deeply connected because how we understand scripture is through our culture. And so
Mhm.
for them, and how they understand scripture in their language is also through their culture. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's an important point.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. I
So,
remember.
oh, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. Mhm.
I remember, like the church leaders, they know that uh, Marapu beliefs is very, very high in this
Yeah.
Sumba people. And so when we got to the passage that's telling Jesus was make a parable talking about uh, new wine put into new wineskin.
Wineskins.
So here
Hmm.
they I was in the middle of checking it with the UNSS, but then they stopped me. They said, "Wow, this is about us. Jesus is so beautiful. It's serious."
Yeah.
They said, "Wow, this is about us. He's telling us right now, like you cannot mix Marapu with the church. You're
Yeah,
gonna
because Marapu, let me so
yeah,
Marapu is like the traditional belief system. It's like the
yes,
traditional religion for Sumba.
mhm.
Yeah, yeah. But you're right.
And
Anyway, go ahead. Yeah,
syncretism,
so it can't be mixed. Right.
syncretism, hi." And so,
Mhm.
and these people were like been using the result of EthnoArts, and some of them are getting involved in EthnoArts, some of
Mhm.
the entities and some of the UNSS. And so they were like, "This is about us. He's loving us. See, this is what he's saying. We cannot mix Marapu with Christianity, even
Mhm.
though our grandparents are still alive and they hold on the Marapu things.
Mhm.
But for us as the generation, we need to separate which one is belongs to God and which one is belong
Right.
to our ancestors' spirit.
Yeah.
We cannot mix
Yeah.
them like this." It was
Yeah.
beautiful. It was
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. And so so 2019 or so is when this all started. And as we're talking now, it's the beginning of 2025, as you and I are talking. So that's been, let's just say 5.5, 6 years now.
yes.
Where is Bible translation now? Like the teams you're working with, how many languages? What are you guys working on now?
It started with two languages, Laboya and
Okay.
Wanukaka, and in
Mm-hmm.
2000, it's actually I am grateful for the pandemic
Mm.
because it's hold me back. So then I can do a bit of research for the
Okay.
language and see how it works and do principle of translation in 2000 and it was March 2021. And in
Okay.
June, we started to do Bible translation for Laboya and Wanukaka,
Okay.
2001. So they
Yeah.
started with Luke because they really wanted to have the Jesus film.
Okay.
And then
Mm-hmm.
we finished drafting community check Luke, but there was no consultant. That's our lack. Like
Yeah.
consultants are very hard to get. And
Mm-hmm.
so but it was God's timing, I think. In 2023, Luke was published online when they also have um like Injil Masuk Sumba.
The celebration of like, yeah, when the gospel first arrived, when
Yes,
missionaries first brought the gospel to
missionaries
Sumba.
arrived
Yeah,
in
right.
1881. And
Wow. So it
so
coincided with that.
yeah, published
Yeah.
with online, and then people were
Hmm.
like so excited. They put respect on me, but I said it's not about me. It's about the team. It's about the member
Right.
of entities.
Hmm.
I just walk alongside, but they themselves try hard to get. So Luke was published online because our plan
Right.
is like the gospels are done and we booked it. At the moment,
Hmm.
we just use the online publication to
Right.
get people into, like we're trying to teach people how to read and write in their language.
Hmm.
These are like oral communities, but they love the
Right.
Bible, they love the Lord.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Very
So
cool.
yeah, right now, yeah, in 2023, Anakalang started with
Okay.
the translation,
So that's the
and
third
then
language now.
that's the
Yeah.
third language. And the
Hmm.
fourth language started in June or July, June, I think, June, but it is with OBT. It's
Okay.
Mangoro,
That's oral
Mangoro,
Bible
the
translation.
fourth, the
Yeah.
fourth language. And the
Okay.
fifth language started in January last year.
Okay.
That's the fifth language, Laura. So
That's
now
great.
5 languages, 2 with oral Bible translation, 3 goes with written Bible translation. The written
Hmm.
Bible translation, they now drafting Mark, Matthew, Mark, 5 T's,
Yeah.
Then the third language is drafting finish Luke, but s- 4 more chapters to check by consultants.
Okay. Yeah. That's
And
great.
yeah,
So
they
things are moving. Yeah.
they're moving,
Yeah.
and they use it. The good thing
Yeah.
about this is not just like translating it. They use it. They use it in a way
Mm.
that they can. I really want
Right.
to have scripture engagement training, not to me, to the people.
Right.
Because
Right.
I'm sort of like a teacher, and I cannot teach and then do the things. I want the church to do scripture engagement. It's not me. I
Yeah.
want the church to use it.
Hmm. Yeah. Well,
However,
that's
they
great.
wanted to do it.
Yeah. I mean, and I think this is it's such an interesting thing is I think engaging with the church so they have more ownership from the beginning. And some of that was with the EthnoArts workshops, and some of that
Yeah.
was just the way Sulu approached it as partners and not doing anything for them, but doing it with them. So I think
Yeah.
it's a credit to how Sulu approached the whole situation. But I just think it's interesting that like this is I think that I know of, at least in Indonesia and maybe in other parts of the world as well. This is the first time I know of where we wanted to start a new project and a new relationship, and we said, well, let's do some ethno arts workshops first. And so it's just an interesting situation and a different way to do things.
It
I mean,
was
what
from the Lord. I think
it
the idea
was.
was from the Lord. And thank you for
Yes.
coming.
Oh, I'm
If
glad I
you,
could.
yeah, if
Yeah.
you wouldn't do the ethno arts, then
Hmm.
it's what kind of workshop that we can get the pastors to get together for the vision to have the Bible in their local languages.
Yeah. Because I think
Yeah.
they had a chance to really get the vision. And
Yeah.
because and then and you're there living there ongoing and continuing that relationship. So yeah, I mean, what would you say, like if other people or if Bible translators are thinking about getting started, or organizations or anyone listening to this, like what advice would you give them about getting started with like with a brand new project in a new location with a new church or a new partner? Like what advice would you give them about ethno arts or Bible translation or any of that?
I highly recommend it to start with ethno arts and
Mm,
form a team in an ethno arts
mm,
workshop who
mhm,
can continue the arts, like compiling and make their music alive again. And then
mhm,
through that team, we pray and find the right people for Bible translation. So then
mhm.
these two teams, they can help each other in doing arts and translation in the same time.
Yeah.
It it's better to use ethno arts to they it doesn't mean that they don't know. They do know, but it's not
Mhm,
in the problem is with Zumba at the time, they thought that these local musics are related to mystics. They don't really,
mm,
because it's come out from the Marabu. It's the the gospel arrived in 1881, and at that time
right.
till now people cannot differentiate Marapu and arts.
Hmm.
Which one is
Right.
given by the Lord? Everything is given by the Lord, but they sort of like they they belongs to both. But when they
Right.
the gospel, they're gonna see which one is the true God
Yeah. Hmm.
for
Yeah.
so
We can
gotta be
continue
that
praying.
more.
I mean, I know how strong Marapu is in Zumba. We can
Mhm.
continue praying that through the translation projects and through the arts and through music, people see the truth in
Amen.
that. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's great. We've talked about a lot. I mean, is there anything else you want to add? Anything we've forgotten to talk about?
When can we do it once again? Now they have a lot of songs.
When can we do it again? Yes.
They individually have their own songs and musics. And I
Right.
remember the moderator of Christian Zumba
Hmm.
church.
Right.
It's she said like this: we need to involve Bapa Matahari,
Hmm.
and
He's
we
the
need to,
musician. He's that famous
yeah, the
musician.
musician,
Yeah. Hmm.
and we need you guys to help him to compile all of the songs in these 9 to 15 languages in Zumba. It's
Yeah.
a big project. It's
It's
a
a
project from
big
God,
project.
big project, and we need people
Mhm.
to get involved. I am so happy that you met Pendeta Santo because
Yes.
she plays music and she's
Mm-hmm.
really into it. And we talk
Mm-hmm.
about Marapu and how we modify our service that more like Zumba people,
Right.
way life, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what can I say? I felt like I almost don't want to have a church service. We have to have like Zumba service. It's more like that.
Mm.
It's not like boring getting into, it's not boring, but it seems like for me, when I look at them at the church, when we have
Yeah.
prayers and Bible reading and preaching songs in the local language, people were
Mm-hmm.
like more alive,
Right.
smiling, and they all get involved rather than we had
Mm-hmm.
Bahasa Indonesia and the
Yeah.
preacher is
Indonesian.
more
Yeah.
loud and they nodding, but because it's loud, so they don't sleepy, It's not
Right.
because they understood what's going on. It's
Mm-hmm.
how to modify this church liturgy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I've been praying for it. It's a new innovation for the
Mm-hmm.
church, but how do we do this? It's make it more like us, not make it more
Right.
like Europe or Western, because you come down and sit and you just listen to one person. But if you have the songs into the local languages, I saw it because in a Christmas event, when I was leading the worship in Wanukaka or La Boya, people were not
Right.
sitting on the chair. They standing on the chairs.
Oh, wow.
Getting involved and they are standing on the chairs. I think I took some videos because it was just so beautiful. Like people were like, we call it like membludak. They were like
Mm-hmm.
water. You just relieve amount of water and you just pour back
Mm-hmm.
and going pouring out. People were like they hunger for their own worship in their own language and style.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's awesome.
thank you very
And it
much
sounds
for
like, yeah, it sounds like we've got some homework. We got to follow up. I got to come to Sumba again. Let's talk
yes,
to Sulu.
please.
Yeah.
Yes, please. And
That's great.
you finish with your PhD?
No, not yet. Another year and a half to go.
Yeah, it's good.
Almost.
But
Yeah.
but you get into it and it means that you know a lot now, so you can help better. We go,
I don't
we
know.
study because we want to help more, right? We don't just
Yes.
stay here, Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Mhm.
get the Wanukaka and Laboya, they wanna have their own group. So
Okay.
Pendeta Ama, you know him, he created a lot of songs too, like
Yes.
he
Hmm.
was just like, oh my goodness. And then these
Yeah.
Vicaris, I send you some music that he
Yeah.
played, they have
Yeah.
the ethno arts. You are right, like they give them sparkle and
Yeah.
they want to come out. They are now coming out, but they are scattered because
Hmm.
no foundation for them, no a place for them.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good
I think
news from. Mhm.
we got them excited and they're doing things, but now it's
Yeah.
what's the next step? Getting more organized and getting a good
Yes.
plan in place. Yeah.
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 Good thing about this is this year Bible
Hmm.
translation is going to be centered in one place.
Okay.
That's
Great.
what the local church wanted to have. And so the local church is providing buildings.
Oh,
And
great.
so,
Okay.
yeah, these buildings are going to be like support by Wycliffe USA. So Wycliffe USA is buying Starlink, things like that,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
CCTVs
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
computers. And so then tomorrow I will be in a classes meeting for one, because I have six classes, six
Hmm.
clusters that
Right.
I'm helping
Yeah.
because it's 3 teams. And so these six clusters, they say that these buildings are going to use for EthnoArts, for church meeting, for every activities that we are doing now to support the Sunday
Yeah.
service.
That's
It's going
great.
to be very good.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
it's exciting. I'm excited to come get involved
Yeah.
again. We got to do it. We got to make it happen.
Come and see, and
Yeah.
come and see and help. And they actually asked about it when I was at STT. They asked,
Oh, the
when can we
seminary.
start EthnoArts again? Yeah, the seminary. And then
Mm-hmm.
because the central of Wanukaka is in one of the lady who sang Wanukaka so beautifully. You remember the
Right.
height that she had?
Mm-hmm.
And she said,
Yeah.
I know that you are so busy with translation, but my heart is not for translation. My heart is for EthnoArts. So you're
Yeah.
gonna do that again. I said, my hand is full and I need my
But let's do it.
friends. And then you
Yeah.
need your people. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm telling them you're gonna form a group. So when my friends come, you have your own group, and I have my own group. We will help each other. If
Yeah.
I'm it all, I'm sinking.
Yeah.
So they're
I
gonna
think they're
do it like
ready.
that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the next step is we need to train people like her and Pak
Yes.
Matahari, musicians like that, and
Yes.
other people so
Yes.
that they can take this on for themselves. I think they're
Yes.
ready. Yeah, it's going to be
Yes.
great.
Yes. And thank
Yeah.
you for keep thinking of us, and keep
Yeah.
us in your prayer and help us,
Mhm.
because I knew that EthnoArts is it's beautiful. I've been traveling with you to Sulawesi, and I saw
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's like I don't know how to run it on my own, but I can see that it's feeling you. It's like a refreshing. It's like you become to realize that God is creating this all, like it's not you creating this kind of music, but it's given, and you give it back to the Lord. And it's
Right.
I like EthnoArts, but I
It's
need
worship.
to
It's a
translate that.
response. Yeah. And that's okay. We need translation too. I'm glad you kind of bridge both. It's been great. So, well, thank you, Katniss, for talking about your experience there. And I hope this is inspiring or helpful to other people who are thinking about the same kinds of questions about Bible translation and ethno-arts and scripture engagement even, and how does it all go together, and how can the arts be a part of Bible translation work? This has been a cool and fun thing to be a part of. So I'm glad you could tell the story a little bit. Maybe we can inspire somebody.
I think EthnoArts is like you touch their heart, and Bible translation is like you touch their head. And then what is that? Scripture engagement is like you make them their hands and feet to move. It's like you're gonna touch their heart first. Translation is very logic, because you are translating from the source language, so you cannot
Right.
go over, or you cannot omit or anything like that. But with art, you're free. You can be yourself. You can worship with your music. You can worship with your style. So we get them into their hearts. So that is why that's why I'm safe here. That's why translation is going.
Yeah,
Thank
and that's why I do what I do. I love the arts.
Yeah,
Great.
you are lucky.
It's a fun job we get to do.
It is.
It's great.
It is.
It's a privilege. All right.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. We would love to hear what you thought.
What resonated with you today? What questions did this raise? Anything you'd like to learn more about? Maybe you have stories you'd like to share.
Please feel free to contact us at ethnoartspod@gmail.com or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at ethnoartspod.
We also invite you to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. This will help others to find out about the show. Please feel free to share the podcast with others.
We look forward to sharing more with you next time on Sparking Creativity, the EthnoArts podcast.